Welcome to AlexandraTV. I am Alexandra Villarroel Abrego, and thank you so much for tuning in. This month, the month of May, is the A.V.A. Health and Wellness Challenge. Since 2013 that I do this, every month of May, I do a health and wellness challenge with you all. So I invite you all to be part of this challenge. You receive a free little calendar for the month of May, and every single day you have a small little thing that you have to do in order to create a more holistic, a more healthy, and a more happy lifestyle. So I hope that you're going to be part of this challenge, of course. If you want to be part of the challenge, all you have to do is go on my website, AlexandraVillarroel.com, and subscribe to my email list, and you will get the challenge. Also, you can follow me on Instagram at Alexandra Abrego, and I will post every day a picture of me doing the challenge, and I invite you, of course, to do the same. The hashtag is AVA Holy for holistic, of course. To start off the AVA Health and Wellness Month, this week on AlexandraTV, we have a very special guest with us. I absolutely love this woman. If you do yoga, if you like yoga, if you love yoga, well, you have probably already heard of her. Her name is Dashama. She has been called the Tony Robbins of yoga, really. She is a published author, athlete, multimedia producer, and an innovator in the field of yoga because she was the first one to do yoga on a paddle board. So if you like anything that has to do with yoga, I am sure you will love this interview. For me, I do yoga. I would consider myself really an amateur of yoga, but I absolutely learned so much when it comes to this topic by doing this interview with Dashama. So without any further ado, let's begin the interview. So hello, once again, it's nice to meet you. Hi everyone, thank you again for tuning in. Here we are with Dashama. Am I pronouncing it properly? I'm always wondering if I pronounce it properly.
It's actually Dashama, my mother would say, but people say it many ways.
That's fine. For me, I know that my family name, usually it's people never get it right. It's very, very hard for them to get it right. So thank you so much for being here with us today. It's really a pleasure and an honor. I know you have a very busy schedule. I think that not even 2 weeks ago, you were in Hawaii. Lucky you.
Yeah.
So lucky. I'm here in Montreal, freezing, but you are so lucky, traveling the world. So thank you again, really, for taking the time to do this. I was doing, of course, research before meeting you, and I've read on your website that you've been called the Tony Robbins of yoga, which I would think is very, very true. And I think that it must be something flattering, of course, to hear that. So tell me, how did you start yoga? How did it start? Where did it come from? How did you fall in love with it, really?
Well, the earliest experience of yoga that I had was when I was a child because my parents were both hippies, and actually my dad, he met Swami Muktananda when he came to New York the first time back in, the 70s and 80s, and they were hippies, so they actually met in a teepee in Oregon at this thing. But anyway, so they practiced yoga, and then when I was born, they kind of shared some things with us, but I was always an athlete, so I was a lot more high energy than like a yoga energy. So I would do a lot of athletics, and I would integrate some of the poses and some of the stretching into my routines as far as from athletic standpoint. But also because I had a really turbulent childhood with I grew up in foster homes and stuff, so I used to do yoga in my room and also martial arts. Those were the two things that I would just do and do my own little workouts, and it would bring me kind of some balance because I had a thyroid disease when I was in high school, and it was just the craziest thing because I had hyperactive thyroid for the whole time of high school, 4 years, and so I couldn't sleep ever at night, and so I would stay up and I would do this yoga and work out and do kickboxing and core workouts, and I'd go running at like 1 a.m. in the snow, and it was just insane. And but I had that for 4 years, even though I was in all these different sports. I was in like cross country and cheerleading and track and softball and swim team and anything under the sun, just to try to like find something to do with all this energy. And so anyway, basically at the end of at my senior year, they told me I needed to decide about removing my thyroid because it was really just getting worse and worse. So I had my thyroid removed, and that caused a huge problem with my energy. Then I got really tired because if you don't have a thyroid, you have no energy. It actually provides you with your energy. And then in addition to that, like at the same time, I had a lot of other really huge, terrible life experiences. For instance, when I was almost 18, I got pregnant, and then I got an abortion, and I just had like so many horrible things all at once. And then I was drinking a lot because I had a lot of problems emotionally, and so I got suspended from school, and it was just like got kicked out of my house. I was living with my aunt at the time. I went to live with my friend, so it's just like my whole life was pretty horrible at the time, in the sense of like there wasn't very much peace in my life. And but oddly enough, I made it through, you know, like somehow the grace of God brought me through, and I decided to go to college in Florida because that's where my grandmother lived. She lived in Boca Raton, so we went down there, and my other sisters were also going to be coming to the same university. So I enrolled in the university. I went to the dorms, you know, my first semester, and you know, it's just like, it was so interesting. Like, so getting into college, I was drinking a lot, and I was really into fitness though, and that was like the one saving grace. My whole life was just fitness, but basically, after a few years in college was when I really got into yoga, and so it's just leading up to that point is that I had yoga early on, but it wasn't a structured routine. It wasn't a teacher of any sorts. It was my mom, and at home, and with my sisters, and doing headstands and back bends and just the fun stuff. Whereas when I really needed it, I found yoga, and I can share that story if you want to, but basically it kind of saved my life in a lot of ways.
Yeah, well, that's true. And it was like your lifesaver. That's amazing. That's really
Yeah.
nice. And I think it's always like that for anyone who, I think everyone has this moment of like, I guess, hitting rock bottom. And I think for you, for what you share, like around when you were 18 and, you know, going through these experiences that were very hard, I guess, you know, yoga really saved you. So that's really an amazing thing. What would you say for anyone? Because for me, I really love yoga. Like, I love watching your videos. I try to do it. I have my friend, and we say we're gonna start, you know, taking yoga classes, and we really want to start, and we're really interested. And I'm sure there's a lot of people watching right now who are in the same position, who are really interested. They're amateurs, let's say. What would you say would be the first steps to get started, really, to get started with yoga?
I think the most important thing is to really decide what you want to get out of it. Like when I first started yoga, it was because around that same time when I was 18, I got hit by a car. And the car actually, I was riding my bicycle, and this car was going 45 miles per hour, and it just T-boned my bicycle, and I basically, it destroyed my spine. I ended up getting scoliosis, and I lost the curve in my cervical spine on my neck. And all the doctors, they said, you know, there's nothing you can do. And, you know, basically that's what a lot of doctors say about many things besides for surgery. They're like, well, we just have this one option, which is surgery. And so I didn't really want to believe that, but I believed it for a few years until I discovered one yoga practice and some different yoga styles that people were using to realign their spine and to fix the issues of scoliosis and things like that, and to alleviate the pain symptoms of scoliosis and other spinal issues and muscular issues and imbalances that come from the skeleton being out of alignment. So basically at that time I was looking for yoga for something completely specific. You know, first of all, I wanted it to help heal my spine, and secondly, for like to balance my emotions and to bring me some peace, because I was undergoing just like a lot of emotional turbulence and inner turmoil and stress and anxiety and things like that. So I gravitated towards a style that really helped me in the beginning. So, you know, now I've developed my own school and my own style, incorporating many different styles. But in the beginning, what really worked for me was a combination approach. So there's hundreds of styles. Each person is unique, and what they need and want out of a yoga practice is going to be also unique. I even wrote an ebook about this. It's called Intro to Yoga, Getting Started on the Right Foot. And I give it away for free when people subscribe for my newsletter. And the reason is because basically there's all these different styles, and people always ask me, well, how should I get started? And it's so individual, unless I'm just going to tell you and we're going to have like a one-on-one, and I'm going to say, this is what you probably could do based on what you tell me what you need and want. Then I could direct you towards a style. But otherwise, There's just so many styles. But there is a reason why I developed my school, because it's a combination fusion school, and it combines a lot of different styles and different approaches, so that students who are coming for a healing can do the restorative practices and the Thai yoga and the Kundalini and some of the meditations and the self-massage. And then somebody that's coming more for like fitness or, you know, flexibility, they would do more of the fire practice and like the deep power yoga style, you know, kind of like, it's such a different experience. And if one person who was looking for healing went into, like, let's say Ashtanga, they would, I don't think, really have a good experience, because you can get injured in that style. It's very vigorous. Whereas if you're looking for something like really vigorous, like a workout, and you went to a restorative class, you would be so bored you would hate yoga. So it really depends on the style that you go to and the teacher. That really determines your, like, how you walk away and the energy that you feel towards yoga in general. Some people can become totally turned off just because they went to the wrong teacher or to the wrong style. And I think that that's really important for people to understand.
Right. Well, you see, that's amazing. This is exactly why I wanted to meet with you, because you just taught me something that I had no idea that it was like that. For me, you know, I was always interested in yoga, and I wanted to take yoga classes, but from what you're telling me right now is that there's so many styles that it really depends on what you're looking for. So what would have happened is that I probably would have went to a class that maybe wasn't right for me here where I live, and maybe I would have been turned off. So that's really amazing. What would you say, let's say this is just an example for me, and I'm sure everyone who's watching has their own different situation. For me, example, I was actually going to go to a chiro practitioner because I have really problems with my neck. Like my neck and my back, it's always hurting because I'm constantly, I always say that it's bad though, but I always like to work. I'm a workaholic. And so I'm always, most of the time I'm sitting down in front of the computer and I'm creating, you know, I'm doing things, and not only creating, but respond to emails, and even like this, you know, meeting with other people. So what would you say would be a good yoga practice for that, let's say?
Yeah, that's a great question. That's kind of very common, actually, like where you're at. You know, the neck pain. There's actually a scientific study going on right now about this, because if you think about it, our lifestyle determines, in a way, like how we evolve as a human race, right? So there was a time when we were cavemen, and we were just like this, and we're like picking up berries all the time, you know, that was like the full day's work, and then, you know, harvesting crops. It's all this over, like hunching over, and then slowly humans evolved to be straight up, right, and to have a posture that was all aligned, which, you know, it's interesting, because if you look at the animal kingdom, it's not like one is different, they're different, but it's not, I mean, I would say on an energetic and spiritual level, to have the alignment of the spine with the crown of the head, there is, on the spiritual side of the teachings of yoga, very deep and profound, beautiful things that you can understand about that, and the connection to the supreme source, and how come our intelligence is superior to most animals, with the exception of dolphins, which, you know, they have a totally different situation with the spine. So ultimately, though, if you think about it, so let's say monkeys, they're kind of hunched over, and then like we're straight up. So now humankind is like really folding forward again, because it's all computer. So everything, and then even the personal devices, even reading a book, driving a car, sitting in any kind of way where you're reaching forward and your head is going forward, this ergonomic alignment is movement, is to almost like moving away from the cervical curvature that we're humankind is known for, this kind of like curve in the neck, and then moving towards it curving the other way, which is what's happening. And so when you're doing that, you're putting a lot of strain and pressure on the upper back and neck, and that's why you're getting pain and tension a lot of times. And so just one thing that I love about yoga is that you can do a lot of practices that reverse that. So back bending specifically, you know, like we call it postural realignment, but basically where, you know, whatever your lifestyle habitual patterns are becoming, you have to do the opposite of that. So for instance, most people are going forward, you have to do a lot of back bending to counterbalance. But if you're having a lot of pain and tension in the neck, you're also going to want to do some some releasing of the muscles there. So massage is really important. Now, as far as what you said about chiropractic, it's very interesting because I've done chiropractic like before when I first had my injuries and stuff, and it helped. Like, it's the kind of thing, it's a very slow, progressive kind of improvements, but it can help. It's just very slow, and part of their income is dependent upon you coming back like several times a week for like a couple years, and then hopefully you're going to get better. So knowing that, you got to realize that the root of their kind of most of the chiropractic, and I just love chiropractors, I'm not saying anything bad about them, but I'm just saying, like, in general, their motivation isn't to cure you right away, because then they're out of business. So overall, that is just the truth. So what's important is that you do yoga, you do get massage. But one thing that really helped me the most with my neck, and it's very hard to find, there's only a few practitioners in the whole country. I think there's 12, but they're actually this specific treatment is based out of Switzerland, and it was called Atlas Profilix, and basically they focus on the atlas of the spine. So the atlas is the very top bone. So if you have your spine and then have the atlas is the only one with a hole in it, and they also call it the mouth of God. So the mouth of God is at the top of the spine, and that's where the spinal column comes through and connects to the brain. And what happens is if there's any like out of alignment, it can pinch the nerves and pinch the spinal column, and it obstructs the flow to the brain. So it actually can cause a lot more problems than you're even aware of and might even consider. And with time and over time, it kind of gets worse and worse. So for instance, people who get migraines, people who get a lot of jaw pain, people who have lockjaw, TMJ, also allergies is a big one. All of those are connected to this atlas. Because I used to have allergies really bad, and then when I fixed my atlas, my allergies like went away miraculously. I'm not even joking. Like, that was a really big sign to me, but also the pain went away. So that was the other thing that was really important. So overall, like I said, yoga is a really important maintenance, and it can very much help you. But I think for pain, you have to do a combination approach. So I really believe in yoga, massage, and then also this type of specific treatments based on your situation. So if you have the neck pain, the atlas is really important. But also, even if you have hips and lower back pain, the atlas can really help, because once you align the atlas, the whole spine can be aligned, and then the hips and the lower back actually start to work themselves back into alignment as well.
Wow, that is amazing. Thank you. I just got like a free consultation. That was amazing. No, but it's really crazy, because what you said right now, that the back pain, and probably from the beginning of this year, end of last year, I've been having really bad migraines, and I can feel that it starts here. Like, I can feel the pain that it starts there. And allergies, I thought that it was because of the seasonal change, because normally when I was younger, when I was a little girl, I used to get for seasonal changes, but it would really make sense that everything is combined, because right now it's my back, it's my shoulders, it's my neck, it's my head, like everything is just not good. So I'm definitely gonna follow your advice, and I'm pretty sure there's a lot of people who are watching, because like you said, we live really in the generation where people are sitting in front of computers, have their back like that. So probably a lot of people are experiencing that. So thank you so much. So now, you said you started yoga really when you were much younger because of your parents and everything, but you really started taking it seriously especially after the events that happened to you when you were 18. But you didn't just stop at that. You actually started really like an empire, building an empire. And I'm really, really I love that. I love when women really take their passion and something that they're passionate about and create amazing things to not only change their lives, but change the lives of really millions of people right now. That's what you're doing with your work. So how did that start? When did you get the idea really to create your institute, which it's called, and correct me if I'm not pronouncing it right, it's Pranashama Yoga Institute. Am I pronouncing it right, or I didn't get it?
That's it. Pranashama, because in yoga there's a word prana, and that's kind of synonymous with the word chi, which is like your energy. It's your life force energy. Okay. So prana is that, and then pranashama. So my name is Dashama, so I took shama from my name, which means sacred. It has other meanings, but that's one of the meanings that my mother gave me. It means sacred. So it's the sacred life force energy is kind of the intention.
Beautiful. That's really beautiful. So how did
Cool.
you get started with all of that, with this empire that you've built?
Well, let's see. I, when I started, I've always been an entrepreneur. I'll just say that. I knew that I wanted to create my own business, but I didn't know what I was passionate about at first. So even when I was 18 and 19 and 20, I had businesses, and me and my boyfriend in college, we started a club called Entrepreneurs United, and it was the Freedom Fighters. And that was the idea, is that we want to create freedom, not only for ourselves, but for others. And like the idea that, it's a certain type of personality that really desires freedom enough to do what it takes to create that in their own life. And not everybody does want that. Some people prefer to have a job, and that's a different type of personality, but people that are more entrepreneurial tend to understand each other. So we created a club about it. We used to bring in speakers. Some of them were like really renowned world speakers. We would have hundreds of students at the university come attend our lectures of, these motivational speakers and stuff. And the intention was always the same. It's like to inspire people to their greatness. And really, I know that everybody has greatness inside, and the people that are attracted to this type of understanding are also in some way attracted to yoga. And it's interesting how it all came together, because like I said, when with the car accident and my neck and all the issues that I had in growing up, and I had, I was always really active. I mean, even when I was in college, I was like a bikini model. I was very fitness oriented, but it was very hollow to me. Like they were very superficial, and even in the fitness world, they were saying I needed to get, fake breasts to be successful and things. And I was like, that doesn't really resonate with my soul. So I got away from that. And I was like, really just like, I don't want to be a part of anything that's going to tell me I have to change who I am in order to be successful in your field. And so when I discovered the power that yoga had in my life, which when I went to my first yoga teacher training, I did not go for to become a yoga teacher. I actually went to heal myself. I was going through a lot of stress, and I had a breakup with a boyfriend, and I quit my job because I was unhappy there. And it was just like a really, another one of those rock bottom experiences. And I was like, I've had more than one.
We all have.
I went to this yoga teacher training, and it really changed my whole life. And it was interesting because even at the end of that, I came out of there, I still wasn't thinking I'm going to be a yoga teacher. And it definitely wasn't my plan to be a famous yoga teacher or like anything like that, or build a yoga empire. Like, no, that was not my idea. I was doing fitness training, and I was really liking that. And I had a lot of clients, but it was interesting because all of a sudden everybody wanted me to teach them yoga when I got my training. And they were just like, all of a sudden all my fitness clients wanted to become yoga clients, which was, over a decade ago when yoga wasn't really that popular still, so it's kind of interesting because it was just a sign I felt at the time that I had found my calling, because not only was it helping me, and then it was helping the people that I was sharing it with, and it always felt so good. And I feel like a lot of times you have to be guided where it feels good, and like go follow your bliss, they call it, but basically like go in the direction where happiness is calling you, and where there's least resistance, like go path of least resistance. And in my world of yoga teaching, we also call it going with the river of life, and so it just kind of started to come together, and a lot of support. And it's interesting. So back then I was just giving a lecture, like this whole seminar about this the other day, because I was talking about, I was one of the first yoga teachers on Craigslist, which is so funny because so I would get like so many clients from Craigslist. This was so long ago. Now I don't know what they do on Craigslist, but back then nobody was doing it. I was the only one. So I was getting all the clients. But they were good clients. They were like doctors and lawyers and like really good. I got to work at a hospital. I was consulting for a hospital. I was working with, and then, but anyway, it kind of just like grew and grew. And then one of my clients, he suggested that I make a video and put it on YouTube. And that was when YouTube first launched. It was back, I was one of the first yoga teachers on YouTube. So this was in '06, and YouTube launched in '05. And I launched my channel, and I had no idea. Like I didn't even look at my video. I put it on there. I never looked at it again for like a year or 2 years. Then when I looked at it, I was like, wow, it has like hundreds of thousands of viewers. I was like, this is cool. Because, I was young and I was just thinking, wow, I just made this video, but I never thought of it again. And anyway, so kind of that was, got me inspired to do more videos. And I always was really into video. Like I studied college, in college I studied communication and international business. So I actually had already a deep understanding and like a desire of creating videos. Even in middle school, I took like a video production class. Like I've always kind of like been excited, and also photography. I love photos. So it was like a natural progression to just keep going with that. But there was always the guidance of the encouragement, like which direction is being supported and encouraged the most. And then I was kind of guided in that direction. So then I got guided towards video. So then I started the first World Yoga Challenge. It was on YouTube. It was a 30-day yoga challenge, and it reached millions of people. It went viral back in 2009, and that was the first online yoga challenge. And now, like you see everywhere, everyone does yoga challenges everywhere. But I started that trend, and then I also started another trend called SUP Yoga, which is yoga on the paddle boards. I was the first person to put any videos online in 2009 doing yoga on a paddleboard. So that also started this really big trend. So I don't know, I've kind of been a trendsetter, and but that's just kind of like how it started. I mean, I could go on and on with the full story, but that's in a nutshell.
But that's really interesting, and I love how everything, whenever you're following your path in life, and whenever you're really following what it's supposed to be and meant for you, it's like everything falls on your lap. Like it's just like things just happen, and it seems like you said, you just go in with the flow. But at the end of the day, I really think that that's kind of your flow, that it's like the river that was meant for you. That's why it's so like perfect and everything is going perfectly. So I think it's really inspiring. It's really beautiful. And I think everyone who is watching this video and who also has a passion or has something that they think that, oh, this could, not only help me, but other people, to really listen to that really and go with the river, follow the river, really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. One thing I'll say, well, two things. One is it's not always been easy, so it's like, when you're out of alignment with the river is when it's getting hard. Sometimes it's just getting hard, I think, to make you stronger, though. And I look back at life like that sometimes. I'm like, all right, that was for a reason. I always try to see a reason in everything, because otherwise you feel like a victim. You're like, oh, why did that happen? But instead, if you're like, okay, well, that had to happen so that I could go and get stronger, and that I became this kind of person. And now, like, I can't be any other type of person. I'm just stronger because of that. And it's just like, I'm so grateful. To be grateful about the worst things in your life is the biggest blessing, because then you bless yourself, you bless your life, and you bless the people around you, instead of being a victim and walking around feeling like, oh, this happened to me, poor me. And so that was really, I think, a breakthrough in my awareness, is to shift away from victimization, because I used to feel so bad for myself because I didn't really have good parents, and I had like a really hard childhood, and things like that. And it's like I still, if I think about it too much, I can feel bad about it, for sure. But I try to focus on all the gifts that it brought me, and the blessings, and the kind of the learning lessons, and how it made me stronger, more independent, more self-sufficient. And in that way too, I can also bless people with my story, and also with my my courage and my gifts that I've been able to really build upon from those experiences. So always going back to gratitude is the best approach to life, for sure.
Yeah, seeing, as I always say, seeing the glass half full and not half empty, and basically just seeing always the positive in everything. So to finish everything, I would like you to give us more information about your wonderful retreats. I was on your website the other day. I was so tempted. I was like, I should go to this one or maybe this one, because if I'm not mistaken, there's some in Bali, in Costa Rica, in Hawaii. Was there also one? Or was that?
I'm actually from Hawaii, and I love. I'm hoping to set up this whole thing in Hawaii, because I just love it there so much. Yeah. But my sister lives in Hawaii, and I've done a SUP yoga teacher training out there before. This year we have Costa Rica coming up next month, so that's one of the. People have been asking me for years to do something closer to America, because I started my school and I launched it in Bali, and so Bali, it's just such a magical paradise of an island. They call it the island of the gods, and there's a reason for that. I mean, everywhere you go is temples. It's so sacred, but it's also so rich and dense with culture and nature, and it's just amazing. So every year in June, I bring a group for 30 days, and people can come for a week, 2 weeks, or 3 weeks, or the whole month, and they can either become certified as a teacher or just come for a transformational experience. We allow for both for the Bali program. And so I developed this Costa Rica option, and so we're doing it in April to test it, really, to see, are people really thinking that Costa Rica is better because it's closer? Because ultimately it's very similar in like vibration and magic and beauty and like the dense tropical natural environment, which really nourishes your body and your soul, and it's just so enriching just to be there and to be surrounded by supportive people and to be doing these practices which are transformational in and of themselves. So it's a 10-day program in Costa Rica, which would give you 100 hours towards your 200-hour training. And in Bali, you can get up to 300 hours. So basically, it's a decision for people who maybe have less time, who can't commit to a full month, but that want to start somewhere, and you can accumulate your hours, and you can get a massive transformation and life-shifting experience in 7 to 10 days. So that's why we developed the Costa Rica program. I'm really excited about that. That's coming up in April, and people can see that information and sign up on my website. And then Bali's coming up in June, and that's awesome. And then we also have a studio in UK. So we have a lot of students in Europe and in the UK. So our studio, we're doing an event there in September. So that's going to be really awesome. And my friend Laura Sikora is going to be co-teaching with us. So that's really beautiful too.
That is amazing. So everyone, I'm going to put your website in the description down below this video. So everyone can go and take a look at that, because that's really interesting. I'm even very, very tempted right now to go to these retreats. It seems so interesting. So is there anything else that you would like to say to everyone who's watching to conclude basically this video and to end this on a positive note? Is there something?
Absolutely. First of all, if people want to get started and maybe they don't have the time or the money to go on a retreat or a training like that, but they want to get started, I do have a lot of free resources available. You can go to my website. You can get that ebook that I talked about for free. I also have a free guided meditation that I give out, which is empowering and relaxing at the same time. So it's a guided, meditation that's really, I created it for an athlete who wanted more confidence in her soccer games. But it's really great, and anybody can benefit. So you can get that at my website. That one's, I think, on Dashama.tv. I have several websites, but I also have like a free video series that has 3 videos from the Prasha method, which is a specific yoga techniques that I teach, and you can get 3 of those videos if you go to my website, and that's available at pranashama.com. So pranashama.com, and you can get all those for free and connect with me, and then you'll be on the newsletter as well. So be able to, stay in touch. And I think that's pretty much the most important thing. If you want to learn more, I'm always putting out so much resources and information and articles and content and videos and inspiring photos and quotes and whatever I can. And I'm really dedicated and committed to sharing as much as I can and to help people. So if people are looking for this type of information to heal, balance, transform your life, and to get started on a holistic lifestyle, then definitely connect with me on any of the websites, and I look forward to seeing you or just hearing from you soon. Feel free to send an email, post a comment, or whatever you want.
Definitely, and I'm definitely gonna start following. Well, I'm already following you, if I'm not mistaken, on YouTube. I'm gonna start following you. I believe you're probably on Facebook. You're on Instagram. You're really in all social media websites. And do you on YouTube? Because right now people are gonna watch this video on YouTube. Do you post videos every week? Is it like on specific days so that people can go and tune in?
Oh, yeah, that's a good point. I used to post videos so often, but since I've been on there 10 years, I got a little bit away from posting so consistently, but I want to get back to it. So if you guys want me to post more videos, well, what would be really cool is go to my channel, subscribe to the channel, and then leave a comment and tell me what kind of video you would like for me to post, because I have been wanting to, and I'm ready to post more videos. And I even have some videos that I haven't posted, but that I just need to upload. But basically, if you have specific questions and you want to ask those, then post your comment, ask your questions, and I'm going to make the best effort to try to post on a regular basis, on a weekly basis is my goal. So hopefully hear from you soon.
Perfect. So everyone, don't forget to go on her channel and post all of your questions. So once again, thank you so much. I want to pronounce it properly. I can't.
Dashama.
Dashama.
Kind of
Okay.
like Joshua. It just flows like
That's
Joshua.
true, huh? Joshua. Yeah, Dashama. Did I get it right? Perfect. Wonderful. So, again, thank you so much for your time. It was such a pleasure and an honor to have you here. And all the information that you shared with us, really, it was amazing. So for everyone, if you like this kind of video, of course, don't forget to like this video. Don't forget to leave a comment also down below. And tell us also in this video, what are the kind of information that you need about yoga, really? What would you like to learn more about yoga, and what kind of teachings, basically, when it comes to yoga, are you interested in? And don't forget to subscribe for new videos in English every single Wednesday. You can also visit my website as well as Dashama's website. I got it. And it's all going to be down on the description below this video. So that is it for today. Anything else that you would like to say?
I think every day you get to choose if you're happy, and I say make today the best day ever. Just focus on the positive and see all of your challenges as blessings, and your life will continue to be blessed. Namaste.
Yeah, namaste. Absolutely. That was beautiful. Thank you so much once again. So I'll see you next time, everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye.